there was a lot of kids in the house. Their parents went for a business trip. One of the girls decided to go on the swing, but something went really wrong. The swing was unstable and started swinging everywhere, and she bumped her head on the glass, fell down, went on the trampoline, hit her head on the tree, goes straight flying, hits her head on the mountain, goes flying back, hits her head on the tree, hits her head on everything here, breaks all of her bones, and then she dies. Back to the library, go, kid. Okay. So this child, he sees the girl dead, but he doesn't care. She goes to play pirates up here, but then he accidentally goes too far. Then he goes here. It breaks all his bones. He bounces all the way up. It breaks his legs. He bounces all the way up here. That's what a pirate says. But then he goes back of it, but he bounces at the back of it instead. Breaks her legs again. Lands on the swing. Bounces on the swing. Since the swing is unstable, she goes spinning around. Lands on the trampoline. Breaks her head on the glass and dead. Back to the library, kid. No, this kid, she didn't care, so she decided to swing. So she decided to go on the trampoline. She was jumping high, 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 until she went flying and hit her head on the mountain, bounced back, went on the trampoline, bounced on the wood. That was blood all over it. She breaks her head on the glass. Then she falls on the trampoline, breaks her head on the light, and then she finally falls down, but she's not dead yet. She goes bouncing on the swing, and then she boom breaks her head on the glass again, and then she smacks her head into the wood, blood over the wood again. She jumps on the trampoline, goes into the tree, goes to the mountain, then dies. Back to the library, going, kid. Okay. So this child, he has a baby in his hand. He drops the baby. Then he wants to flower the carrots. It goes horribly wrong. He throws it into the air. Then it waters his head, and since it's extremely hot water, he goes burning. Then he tries to cool it down by going into the snow, but that doesn't work. So he goes into the unstable swing, starts swinging around to see if it would stop his heat. It didn't, and instead, he went freaking flying into the window. Bounces over here, gets to the neighbor's window. He says hi to the neighbor, bounces off again, back to his children, bounces on the trampoline, into the pirate place. Bro, what the hell? But then he accidentally lands on the swing. Then he starts swinging again. He died and breaks his legs from here. Hit his head on the window again. He breaks his vocal cords. Then he suffocates in his blood like William Afton. Then he goes back to the ground, dies. Back to the library, go, kid. So this man is holding the baby that guy was just holding. Gets angry at it for no reason. Puts it up here and doesn't let it down for 24 hours. It's down. And then the baby jumps on the trampoline, and then he pushes the baby up. He's just jumping, and then he hits his glass, goes on the swing, then swings and hits, and then he disappears, goes back again, hits his head on the mountain, and then he breaks everything in his body. Back to the library you go, kid. Okay, so next, this child. He wants to get an apple, but he's too short. So he asks this kid for his help, and he finally says yes. But he can't reach it either. So he has to jump. He gets stuck in the tree, and then the kid dies because he's suffocated. But at least the baby got the apple, and once the baby got the apple, he realized that he was falling. He breaks his leg. He breaks his legs and dies. Back to the library you go, kid. So this blonde girl jumped on the trampoline, hits the baby's head. The baby dies. And then he goes back to the library. But that's not it. The girl's still jumping and jumping. And then jumps on the kid's head, breaks her head on the glass. And then she hits the tree, blood all over it, hits the tree again, blood over it. Then she gets stuck in the tree and screams for help, but nobody helps her. She jumps down and hoping to fall on the trampoline. She did, but she went flying and hit her head on the mountain, hit her head on the tree, then bounces back.
Back to the library you go, kid. Oh.
Then she went flying onto the swing. And then she boom! Then she hit her head on the glass again. Lantern. And then she went, hi neighbor, because she hit her head on the neighbor's glass. And then she falls down, hits her head, and dies. Back to the library you go, kid. Okay, so. This child with the stupid soccer shirt, he wants to be the best at soccer, so he uses this thing as a soccer ball. He kicks it, it goes all the way over here into the trees, bounces back, hits his head, knocks him out. Then the baby drops the tea kettle on his head, and then he pours some hot water. The kid wakes up and he goes like, "Oh my God, my head is burning!" Then he goes on the swing like the other guy did. Hello? What's going on? Okay, since the swing is unstable, he goes flying again. Then he lands at the trampoline, goes all the way up here, breaks his legs, and dies. Back to the library you go, kid. So there's only babies now. So the baby is shocked, but he didn't care. So he went on the swing and bounced. And as soon as he flew off, he bounced on the neighbor's glass. He's stuck there now. But one of the babies helped him. And he got down, but he broke his neck. And then he jumped on the trampoline, went on the trees, bounced to the mountain, hit his head on the mountain, but now he was stuck. And then he slid down the mountain, and then he got home, broke his legs, and died. Back to the library you go, kid. Okay. So, there's only 3 more kids or babies left. So, this guy is so scared that he goes back into the kitchen. But he didn't know the stove, but he didn't know the house was burning. He burns himself, then runs back here. Then the fire got to the best of him, so he tried to cool him down with the water, but then he realized it was hot, then he burned to death. Back to the library you go, kid.
So, this guy
started to go in the house because he wanted to, and then he realized that the house was burning, but it almost set off, and then he died by burning. Back to the library you go, kid. Okay, so this last kid is alone. He's scared because he's the only people here. And then he starts going everywhere like this. He breaks his head on the door, flies into the neighbor's house. Then after he's in the neighbor's house, the neighbors throw him out of the window, bounces on here, lands in the light, and then he burns because the light is so hot. Goes over here. He wants to cool him down, so he uses the teapot. Then it's hot. Then it's literally like more hot than the fire. So he goes to the swing, tries to cool him up. Again, he flies all the way to the door, bounces back, trampoline into the mountain. Down over here, bounces back again, tree, apple, wood. Around here, breaks his legs, and dies. That's the library you go, kid.
Then, finally the stupid parents are here. Finally! Then they see their blood anywhere and they don't care because their kids were stupid as hell. And then they decide to play snowball fight. One of them got snowballs in their eyes, so they used the hot water. And they were so hot. And then and then they decided to jump on them.
And then they
decided to jump on the mountain to cool off, but that didn't help them. That broke their skull because the mountain was they got frostbite on their head because the snow was so cold, and then they broke their head, smashed it on the ground, and then back to the library you go, stupid parent.
Okay, so this mother got so scared, he runs back into the house, burns himself, gets into the light, burns himself again, just to cool him up, burns himself again. He jumps into the mountain, burns himself again because of this hot water, and then he burns himself again because his phone is so hot, and then burns a fire. Back to the library, go kid.